Hey everybody, Jay Barino here, and welcome back. It's Legacy of the Void Terran Edition. We're on to the Legacy of the Void campaign proper, which is for Ire, so no tech choices at all. I'm still a little sick. I don't know if that's coming through with my voice being recorded or not. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Let's go.
All right, let's move out and take it to them. We've got to clear this area.
It's cool to have all mercenaries. I actually remember this map being kind of hard, like actually pretty hard. The Ultralisk in particular, just right here at the beginning, could be a little spicy. What we could do is try and body pull some of this stuff.
By the numbers, boys.
Nope.
This better be good.
We could try and pull him back to the Hyperion also, but we don't have stim, we have no tech. So I think what we have to do, again, is basically walk in. You gotta focus down the Ultra, though. And we lost so much stuff just in that first engagement. That was just god-awful. Alright, medics, you gotta stay in the back. I don't think we didn't lose any hammer securities. That's kind of the more important piece of this. Okay, let's get in there. We're just taking a lot of extra heat from these spine crawlers. Again, at this point, there's really not a better way to do this. We don't have stim or anything like that. Best we could do is just get in and make sure everybody is shooting. But as long as we don't lose any medics or hammer securities, I feel okay about it. We're going to get our tanks now, too.
These new siege tanks work just like the old ones. When you put them in siege mode, they get increased range and firepower.
Sort of felt like our medics aren't taking that healing aggro. Maybe that was turned off for this mission because, well, I don't know specifically why, but I wouldn't complain. So we got to be really, really careful with these siege breakers because they have no regen. And we can use them to very slowly soften up enemy positions as we go. Excuse me. But we don't want to move them as close as possible, if only because, like, for example, if there were enemies back there, they would have rushed forward and damaged our tanks, and we have no recourse for our tanks getting damaged. No healing. I don't know if this is ever revisited for balance purposes. I think there's a lot of little things, like, even on this mission, giving the tanks, like, the biomechanical regen might seem like a lot, but I think would be, like, a really good idea. Again, it's mission 1. So if you want to add more of a difficulty curve to this one, that would help. Where the mission 1 is supposed to just be straight up really easy. Okay, we lost, I think, 1 or 2 Marines to that Ultra. Could have been worse. Took a little damage there. Random stuff just coming across the bridge. Okay, cool. So we basically should never engage spine crawlers with our normal units anymore. We could just inch forward, take them out with the tanks. And I think it's pretty critical that we get all or most, I would say at least 3 tanks to the very end. Because the end section is definitely tricky. So this next part, we could make like a line of tanks on the bridge.
Zerg are hitting us from the west.
10-4.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's no way that we could rely just on our tanks to handle that. Again, no tanks lost yet, no medics lost yet, and I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of extra war pigs as time goes on, so I'm less concerned about that. I got to be careful. I'm, like, probably just out of range of that spine crawler. Lot of sieging, unsieging. Again, this is less of an F2 A-click as the original, you know? I think tanks... I would rather have tanks than Colossi in most circumstances. It's just the tanks require that setup time, which makes them more difficult to use. Now, if we hit this stuff just out of range, it's less likely to draw all this stuff to us. Let's focus on the tank. Or, not the tank, you know what I mean. The Ultra. Again, I keep checking 5 hammer security, or 6 hammer security, 6 medics, because those are not as easily replaceable. That's why I'm trying to be extra careful with them. Oh, I went the wrong way, actually. We want to come down here. It doesn't look like there's any defense. If it's burrowed, I don't know if there's any burrowed Ultras. We're about to find out! Let's see if Synergy made all of the drones mine. Which, again, was a bug in the original. I don't know if I'd even call that a bug. Probably it's just an oversight. Just straight up oversight. Oh, wait, hang on. We don't want you to get hit by random brooklings, okay? Good job,
Scanners indicate that settlement is now clean, sir.
Good job, Hell's Angels. I haven't been consistent destroying the little goops, so I don't know why I'm bothering to start now. Okay, we got some war pigs. Again, not really as many as I would like, but we're gonna get more from the big area. Honestly, I feel like we lost the most stuff just in the very, very start. That was a big bummer. So here's what we're gonna do. We siege up the tanks. It's going to lure a lot of the little guys to us. We just don't want to let the Zerglings get on top of our tanks. By the way, do we have... Yeah, we do have Shaped Blast. That's nice. Okay. On the left? Honestly, unsieged tanks are going to be fine versus Ultras. In fact, unless we can outrange them in the first place, I actually think that unsieged tanks might be better versus Ultras. Like, if they're already running at us, and we can't outrange them and get those initial shots off.
Read me, Matt? I could use some reinforcements down here. They got something big in the next room, and I don't think it's friendly.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Your reinforcements are inbound.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no other hammer securities or medics. Maybe they would replace them if we had lost them. I don't know. It's possible that the reinforcements you get at each section is dynamic based on what you have. This is another section where I think we want to be like really, really careful because again the banelings can be awful. If we can take them bit by bit. There's also a guardian up here, so we just have to. What I'm gonna do, I think, is siege up here. I think that could have been a lot worse, but it was bad. Okay, no medics lost. We lost 2 hammer security, though. I'm not sure of a better way to do that. We just casually lured them all into us at the same time. We might get some more hammer securities from the crashed, well, it's not going to be a mothership now, but the crashed battle cruiser? Who knows? Don't get too close to that. I guess ultimately maybe I would prefer Colossi. I don't know, just like the straight up single target damage is so good from tanks. Let's just get up and try and save these guys first. There's like nothing to save. So that's a good example. That's a great example of like a balance. Something balance related is needed to address that part because like I don't have stim. I can't get to them any faster. I literally just moved as fast as I could towards them. Goodbye, other hammer security. No, you lives. Good job. Let's just unsiege these so don't take... Even with Shaped Blast, we want to make sure we're not taking too much damage from our own guys. It is kind of an interesting paradigm.
I'm picking up 2 more concentrations of Zerg biosignatures.
It's certainly a challenge. It's a unique challenge for Synergy to deal with. I don't even know if he would ever plan on even revisiting any of these. But when it comes to like this balance stuff, in general, it seems like a lot of stuff has been made harder. But there are some cases actually where it would be worthwhile to make them a little easier. I think this is a good example, like this map in particular, but also like this whole campaign. And he's aware of that. He told me about it previously.
What's our target? Got no patience.
Let's do something like this. Just because, again, that like Terran power just isn't there. A lot of lings. This is a place where our tanks could have been at risk if we weren't careful. That was worth taking. That was worth taking War Pig deaths on, at the risk of losing tanks. I'm a little concerned. Maybe I've lost a little too much up until this point. Specifically the hammer securities. While we do have decent anti-armor with the tanks,
Please state the nature of...
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I would really hate to get to the very, very end and then lose, but that's something that is possible in every potential mission. Let's siege these up. Focus fire down the ultras. I don't think I lost any of my remaining... Yeah, okay, we didn't lose any of our, like, super important units, at least. We did take some damage on the tanks. This is one where, like, the amount that we lose makes it almost not worth doing the option. Thanks, Queen. You jerk. Outstanding, he says. Does that mean we're doing well, or would he say that no matter what?
That's another one down, sir. No time to rest, though. There's still more Zerg clusters that need cleaning out.
I wonder what mission that was originally from. Where you at, Queen? Get over here. Okay, cool. I think we're doing okay. Again, I'm a little nervous. It's the type of mission where, like, it could be one where, like, we sort of already lost, but we don't know it yet. If we absolutely have to, I remember watching Grant play this on stream, like, years ago. And I think he lured the End Hybrid all the way back to the beginning. on top of the Hyperion. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. That's what I say. Oh, that's not good. So this is, I think, a great example of, like, obviously, you gotta power through it. You gotta get through it somehow. And we did it. But at what cost? Too much? I don't know. We won't know until the very end of the map.
Keep it moving, boys.
This better be good.
Tanks are still relatively healthy. That is a pathetic amount of reinforcements for this far into the map. Again, my only hope, and I don't know if this is true, I would really hope that the reinforcements are dynamic based on how much you've lost. Because, say we would have lost twice as much and we had, like, a really sparse army, I would really hope we would have gotten more than, like, what, 8 war pigs there. That's bad news. Alright, so medics, we need just sort of in the back. And we're going to take this real gentle-like. This is, I think, a lot of Hydralisks pop out here. So we want room for our other units. Yeah, perfect, okay.
What the hell?
I mean, that went really well. I might have to body pull a little bit. Body pulling might just lure them all to me, though. That group down there is the worst part, I think, but that went okay for the amount of stuff that we had to kill there. Let's not accidentally draw that stuff to us until we move up and siege up again, though. That tank is in danger if we're not... No, we're okay. Okay, good. It seems like a lot of the stuff is triggered to move in on you if you attack one or more of the units that are in the group, then they'll all just sort of flood towards you. But in some instances, it seems like if you get just outside their range of vision, then they won't all rush in. So, like, this is way better. We probably, like, this section in particular may have been much more difficult had we not been ultra careful. Okay, very good. That ultra popping out was a bit dastardly, but we're okay. Okay, let's keep inching. We have another optional here, which again might not pay for itself. But we'll do what we gotta do. Medics are in range of cleave damage, so let's move those back. Man, look how long this, this mission's taking. Did we lose any? I don't know if we lost any Marines there. One thing that could be handy here, too, is make the medics field response theta. Does field response theta get an even better healing rate? Because that would make this feel a little better, too. There's, like, minuscule things that could be done to make this where, like, again, it's comparable to the original Protoss mission. Like, this is... I understand how, in general, we want to make these a little bit harder than the original iterations, but this... Did I just accidentally kill one of my own guys? I don't think I A-clicked. I don't know what I... Maybe I just tried to do that. I swear there's ultras here. Thanks, Queen. Appreciate that. I swear there's ultras here. Am I crazy? Let's just do this. Make sure we're sieged up before we move in. And... Yeah, okay, no ultras.
That settlement has been cleared of Zerg biosignatures. Well done, sir.
Okay, get our last set of reinforcements. I feel like we got more from that, the optional objective here, than the main objective from the second warp conduit. Okay, let's get going. Some Devil Dogs could be cool too, even though they would be... Basically, if you microed them well, and you didn't just A-click with them, I actually think they would be pretty darn cool. This is where I know that as soon as you inch towards the ramp, the Niduses pop out. What I want to do is kill a lot of the pre-placed stuff, then we'll get on top of the Niduses.
This is gonna get ugly.
Okay, let's unsiege. And we just got to get in there. It seems like those Niduses have like a limited number of units inside of them. Okay. We have a single hammer security left. We haven't lost any medics, though. That is going to be spicy, and the, I know that there are burrowed... I know for sure there are burrowed, oh, gosh. Cool. Remember how I said we won't know till the end if we're after not? I think we're okay. Those things popping out, the hybrid, I think that's normal. I should have expected that, but that was, again, really, really spicy. I think we're okay. I think we got one more round of hybrid, which I'm pretty sure our tanks could probably handle themselves. Hybrid Reavers really aren't that bad. I was going to say, it happened exactly, which is there's infestors that fungal you, and then those banelings just run in and murder you, so. So see, like, these hybrid don't even do splash damage, so, like, it's actually really kind of pathetic. Like, if that was 3 ultras, that'd be way worse. But please don't make it 3 ultras. Thank you. Okay, cool. We did it first try. That was one I thought I'd have to use some rewinds on. The first batch of missions, I think, are the hardest. And then the end is also really difficult if you're not willing to just do the most powerful composition, which is mass air. I don't know. We'll see when we get there how I want to handle those like the harder missions towards the end. Like rack shear or purification, that kind of stuff. But these early ones, when you don't really have many tech options, equally rough.
You know, I think I saw this in a movie once.
Here they come! Lock and load!
Was that it? Those creeps are gonna be coming out of the woodwork any minute now. We better get back to the base.
I sort of remember this opening section also being very difficult, but this is one where, like, either give the player one medic or, like, maybe 2 extra Marines. That kind of stuff. So, I'm going to be extra, extra careful.
Let's waste them. You got it.
Okay, that wasn't very careful. I was hoping we could pull them
This better be good.
more individually. I don't want to attack them, I just want to body pull. Yeah, exactly. Like, little bits at a time like this.
Outstanding. Don't provoke me.
That makes it a little more palatable.
Give me orders by the numbers, boys.
Just don't attack them. Only body pull.
Don't waste my time.
And then the mutas, I hope we have enough HP on Tychus just to fully tank them. I would love to get these 3 war pigs all the way to the end.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do.
I also am not sure if... I think Zerglings have been added. Like, I think there's more enemies here than normal.
Yes, sir. Don't provoke.
But again, this is what you gotta do, man. You do what you gotta do, okay? Okay, we gotta spread these Marines out so that we don't all take
Armed and ready.
bounce damage from the mutas.
For me.
So we're still working our way through the Lings.
Want some?
Tychus does really good damage, it's just...
You cannot bark all day.
There's more.
Been waiting on you.
Okay, we're okay. I think we can handle 2.
Walk the walk.
So what we're gonna try and do is lead with Tychus,
Bad man.
and then
This better be good.
spread these guys out.
Better be good.
I don't know. We might just lose them all. It's gonna be fine.
That ain't me here, no man. Armed and ready.
I mean, apparently Glaveworm bounces
What's in it for me?
8 miles. Okay, please no more Lings. Look how... I mean, like, the fact that we're that low, and I was that meticulous with body pulling...
Ever it
Again, that's an
takes.
example of, like, just give me one more Marine or a medic.
So what's the plan now, Commander? Trash them bases, right? Jimmy? Partner? Can you hear me?
And I'm not trying to come off like I'm, like, lecturing about the balance here, because, again, Synergy already knows. I'm just giving suggestions. Losing even just one war pig kind of sucks.
SCV ready.
Let's bring these fellas down here and grab some more, though.
Got it. Roger
Maybe
that.
it'll be guarded.
Affirmative.
It's not. Okay, we're cool.
Man, are you a sight for sore eyes? Hold up, we're coming with you.
Okay, we shouldn't need too many medics, because this is a mission I think that's... It's going to be attrition. This mission is very much attrition, so we have to make sure that we can just churn out so many Marines, and then we can sort of heal them out of combat. We can't rely on medics to heal us in combat.
Can't wait.
In fact, even in general, in like the base Wings of Liberty, I would say you make medics mostly to have some longevity to your army as opposed to like in combat healing. I mean, Marine v Marine, yes, but at like higher tier stuff, it becomes a little pointless. Like the amount that you spend for a medic to keep one Marine alive for like an extra less than 1 second, you know, that's... I understand that that becomes additive,
The doctor is in.
but I don't know. It's similar to how I see like Zealots and Stalkers. Some people might, in these early missions, only make Stalkers. I think like having some Zealots to sort of absorb some of the frontline stuff. Again, it adds some longevity to your Stalkers, and Zealots are very cost-effective for doing that. Whereas I don't think Medics are particularly cost-effective for adding longevity to your army on a later game mission. On a mission like this, though, definitely. Okay, let's just keep saturating. I will try and stay ahead of my supply. Can I make no reactors? So we're just gonna need a lot of barracks. Maybe get one more barracks with the tech lab. Can't make more war pigs. So we're just chilling. Okay, let's go ahead and get our gas set up. And once we get enough barracks up, we're gonna need to be multi-building supply depots, I think, to keep up with it, but that's not for a while. We gotta get this fully saturated, and we're gonna need a very, very large army, I think, to push our way through this, because, again, we only have Marines, and the enemy has Ultras.
Not enough minerals.
And then later we have to fight the rogue Terran, which I don't know what they're gonna have.
Warning. Incoming Zerg attack wave detected.
Piece of me, boy.
Now, I may be treating... I'm probably treating my medics too much like priests in Warcraft 3, where, again, that's a great example where
Insufficient Vespene gas.
having priests on inner fire is way more effective than having priests on heal when you're in combat. It really depends on the size of the battle. Like, it's a very big battle, inner fire is going to be the way to go. And then you heal out of combat to just make sure that your army is ready to go for the next engagement.
Armed and ready.
But, I mean, I'm sure anyone could make an argument in favor of
You
either
rang.
way. Probably going to end up with 5 barracks in order to build off of the amount of production we're going to have, or out of the amount of income that we have, but we also have to stay on top of supply. I know there are also banelings, especially at the first part of this map, so we got to stay on top of those. Probably just right-click those to make sure that they don't absolutely obliterate us. When I say medics aren't that cost-efficient, it's just because of the gas cost, but in this case, we have nothing else to spend our gas on. But if we had, like, 1 medic per 1 Marine, I would rather just have Marines in that case, you know?
Doctor is in.
Okay, we're decently saturated here. We get 2 more SCVs. I don't even know if that's necessary at this point. Let's just keep making depots even though we're not completely blocked. And I suppose we could take this group and move out. Hopefully this is enough to at least start clearing out this first part. But this is another spot where, again, we could do some body pulling. I mean, that's not... That was the op. That was actual, just normal. Normal attacking, but... I'm going to say war pigs maybe try and stay alive. We should probably just move those to the back, because they at least are adding the slightest bit of extra DPS that we don't want to necessarily throw away. Let's get 2 more barracks. That's a lot. I think we'll be able to produce out of them, and if not, then that's fine. We just won't produce out of all of them. Okay, definitely going to need more depots. We just got to stand and fight here, I think. I ran into an enemy attack wave, unfortunately. And we are losing stuff, but that's okay. I'm sure that there's a... I'm sure that, let's see, we right-click the Baneling. That's the new age of Jabarina right there. I forget what I was going to say, but basically... I'm sure Marauders are introduced on a level that's a little more fitting in the future. Wow, that Spinecrawler knew exactly who to go for. What a jerk. Okay, I'm going to keep making depots, even though we're not even close to being supply blocked. It's okay, it's going to come in handy later. 5 Marines at a time. Again, I don't know realistically off of this many mineral patches how many barracks you can produce off of to stay relatively efficient. It might even be like 7. I'm not sure, but I'm going to just keep these fellows queued up. Especially because we continue to build depots, and you can see how fast our supply will spike by doing this. I might want to wait for 1 more attack wave.
Standing by.
You gonna give me by the number? This better be by the number. You gonna give me orders?
And then lure them back. This stuff is all pre-placed. It looks like they are rebuilding some stuff. Okay, spines are down, so now we can actually get rid of the stuff that they're rebuilding. That's all well and good. Don't stop making those Marines, though. The fact that I could double Q means I probably could afford to have another barracks, but I also stopped producing for a second there. Warpig, let's go and grab some other dudes. Might want to wait until the next enemy attack before we push forward, because that's when we're going to hit the Terran. And in the original, there are Colossi there, right?
I could kiss you guys. Me orders?
So maybe we shouldn't be tempting fate by running into whatever they've been replaced with.
Where does it hurt?
until we wait for the next enemy attack, or maybe we just do it. No, I see incoming attacks. Okay, we didn't lose that much to the Ultra. I'm being like super duper careful if that's not obvious here. Yeah, I think we can afford to get at least one more barracks, considering we're triple queued in some cases. Then we'll get one more depot, let some of these reinforcements make their way up, and then let's push.
This better be.
Where does it hurt?
Medics stay back.
Is it critical?
Okay, let's go. I'm expecting a tank. Okay, just a lot of... That's what appears to be 2 tanks.
Need some triage?
I don't have stim, so I mean, I hate it, but we just gotta...
That's fine. That's Marines too, brother.
Thanks, I hate it.
Who wants some?
Not enough minerals.
Okay, we'll just wait for reinforcements before we decide to push forward too much, because if we have to fight an Ultralisk, we're in, slight danger. I did get away with not losing too many medics, though. So I am happy about that.
Gangway, coming through.
Okay, who has the double queue? That's medics. Okay, cool. Let's wait for this round, and then we can sort of push. Actually, we can push with this group. That's okay.
Shirt on, Sparky.
The doctor is in.
I don't know if they rebuild these Ultras or not, but again, not having any anti-armor is killer. There's another one. There's another one. I mean, I have no choice. Unfortunately, that's just how it had to be. That's 3 Guardians over there. I still have medics in here.
Not enough.
I don't know if they rebuild Ultras, so no, those are Roaches. Okay, thank goodness. I was gonna say, if they rebuild the Ultras, we're in slight trouble. This is the last place that attacks come from, so I think we're okay for now.
The doctor is in.
Yeah, we gotta bring our actual army over there. So as long as we kill this, then in theory they won't send attack waves at us. So I should be safe to just build, stuff. I think the key, too, is we haven't lost a lot of our medics in combat.
The doctor is in.
I feel like I've noticed that it seems like the enemy isn't really focus firing them like they did in the prologue missions for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Armed and ready.
But I'll take it. Specifically on that Mission 1. Mission 1, that'd be rough. Weird rock formation.
Raiders are here. We're saved.
This always confused me. How come when you come here, the map reveals and it's just rocks? Is that supposed to be... Is this a reference to something that I don't recognize? I don't think so. But I don't know what that is.
Who wants some? This better be good.
Okay. Getting into the final base is probably going to be really, really rough, and I have no idea if I have even close to enough stuff. 100 supply, you'd think? Well, that includes SCVs, to be fair.
Armed and ready. By the numbers, boys.
Need some triage?
When you're stutter stepping up a ramp, medics again. I guess if you stutter step with only the Marines and let your medics actually heal, then it's okay. Oh, I never added my last barracks. That explains perhaps my my mineral abundance. It can't really hurt to just wait. Let's wait for this group, and we got more coming up. So
Where does it hurt?
you know what? There aren't any enemy attacks right now. So if this doesn't go well, we can rebuild.
Who wants some? I feel them.
Okay, those Banshees are gone. I think we're okay. I thought there'd be like a bunch of tanks up there or something, but that really wasn't too bad at all.
Where does
Getting
it
through
hurt?
those 2 tanks with the Marines was the hardest part of the map, I think.
Watch our 6. More of them coming.
This ain't a stealth mission anymore, ladies. Bring it loud and fast.
Oh no.
Your lies are meaningless, purposeless. I grant you salvation.
Uh-oh. I'm worried about the sentence section. The starting section was hard enough. Good grenade. Good grenade.
I'm a bad man. A man's gonna get us some payback. Let's waste some freaks. Walk the walk.
Let's waste some freaks.
Whatever it takes.
We're just gonna bomb into it.
I didn't hear no magic word.
Tychus not looking good. If we have to, again, we could just run him to the end and distract with our remaining war pigs, but I'm not feeling too good about this. There's one other large battle. Yeah, let them kill each other. Okay. We're right there. Okay, let's just not do anything really dumb.
Our allies are being attacked.
Oh, good. They're focusing on him. Okay, this is fine. One guy. Look at this one brave guy. Okay, that end part was fine. I was really, really concerned, but it was okay. The next mission, I honestly think is one of my least favorite missions in, like, the entire trilogy, unfortunately. But, yeah, Spear of Adun, man. I don't know what it is about this map. I've just always found it pretty hard. Pretty darn hard. It might actually be better with Terran because of our bunkers, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.